Well, I think that first off, these superpowers are so critical to fighting fascism because when we talk about boldness, it is an antidote to this timidity that fascists try to push us all into so that we'll obey in advance. When we talk
Mm-hmm.
about generosity and not being willing to throw other people under the bus, that is solidarity, which is a bulwark against the divide and conquer that fascism relies on in order to advance. And we are in a moment right now when those things are absolutely critical to the survival of all of us. They're trying to take out different groups one by one. And I will say that, um, one of the ways that the superpowers showed up for me, and this also ties back to my personal experiences, I experienced as a child who was exiled by my family when I told the truth about sexual abuse because it was inconvenient for them to go up against males that had positional power and had economic power in my family. I know what it is to be thrown under the bus. I know what it is to be abandoned. And that shaped me toward, as it does many women of color, towards the superpower of not being willing to do that. And that showed up in the fact that I centered in the organization I founded, transgender people were part of the mission statement from the beginning. Black women received a larger share of funding than any other group through every program we ran. An understanding of putting the people who are most marginalized in society at the center and that standing in solidarity with them around their liberation is how we all get to freedom. It also showed up in how even early, way far before the current situation we're in, I was in solidarity with Jewish people and Arab and Muslim people who were standing for human rights in a consistent way.
Mm-hmm.
And that included standing against the violence and the apartheid that was happening in Gaza. And I was consistent with that, and I was willing to lose funding behind that. And I think I'm proud of the fact that I did that. And I think we all need to step into the example of saying, that when we become apologists or when we concede genocide against children of any ethnicity or background, it is we lose our souls. And when we lose our souls, it is a domino effect, particularly with people like Trump in office. They are
Mm-hmm.
coming for all. So we have to find our backbone around these things. So yeah, the boldness, we moved $100 million during my tenure at Groundswell to organizing led by women of color and
Bravo.
LGBTQ